Hello all and welcome to this hands-on lab. In our lab today, we will learn how to work with Amazon Textract APIs using AWS CLI. Couple of things to keep in mind before we proceed further ahead. Using AWS services leveraged in this lab can incur charges. Hence, ensure that you clean up all resources after completing this lab. Prerequisites for this particular lab is knowledge of Amazon Textract. So if you do not know what this service is all about, please refer to this overview video that I had created some time back. Also, you will need to know how to configure an IAM user for AWS CLI. So if you do not know how to do that, again, refer to this video. URLs are mentioned right here at the bottom. I do have steps as to how to configure an IAM user for AWS CLI in this tutorial as well. Scenario for our lab today. You have the below documents/images in your S3 bucket that you need to extract text and or analyze. So basically you have a passport image, an invoice image, and a greetings image. So you have these three files and you need to either extract text, perhaps even analyze these images. Reference URLs. So these two URLs are very helpful. In fact, I would recommend that you refer to these URLs, especially when we are upgrading CLI, right? And we are trying to set the path variable and just keep them handy. Most of the commands that I am using in this lab are taken from these two URLs. So if you have them handy, it'll be good. Plus, both the URLs have much more information than what I can cover in this lab. Let's review our documents, right? So this is my S3 bucket. So I have a passport image. Remember, we have three images. I have a greetings image, and I have an invoice image as well. Now I have downloaded one more sample invoice image over here, just in case. But in short, what we are going to do is we are going to basically analyze and or extract text from three different images. One is an ID, one is a greetings image, and other one is an invoice image. And I also have them right here. So let's just review through them. So this is a sample US passport, right? That we will be using in this lab. Along with that, we have a Thanksgiving. This is a greetings image right here. So this is Thanksgiving's greeting, right? And then I have the sample invoice. Again, you can see that, you know, it's a simple invoice. You have some description, total, etc. And I have, just in case, downloaded another invoice image as well, right? As you can see. And basically, we will be working with these set of files. Okay, so these very same files have been uploaded in my S3 bucket. My S3 bucket name is my zip codes bucket. So whatever bucket you are using in your case, you can do that. These are just sample images that I downloaded from the web. First step. Our first step is to create an IAM user. So we'll go to IAM and then create a user for programmatic access by associating these two existing policies, right? So which policies are we attaching to this user? We are basically attaching Amazon S3 read-only access. Why? Because our files are in an S3 bucket, remember? And along with that, we are attaching Amazon Textract full access, right? Because we need to execute and call Textract APIs. After the user is created, we need to copy the user's access key ID and secret access key. This we are going to do so that we can configure the user for AWS CLI. So let's go ahead with this. And this is my IAM console. I'm going to create a user. So we are going to say a user. This is whatever, or maybe AT user. I'm going to give it programmatic access. Next, right? Attach existing policies. I'm going to look for S3. And this is read-only access. Along with that, I'm going to look for, let's look for Textract. This is Textract full access. So we have both the policies selected now. Next, no tags, next. So the username is 80 users. I'm going to just copy that and possibly paste it right here, right? This is my user name. These are all the details. We have both the policies attached and we are going to say create user. And we are going to copy the access key ID. I'm going to copy the access key ID. And we are going to copy the secret access key. Right? So we have copied the required information. So we are good. Okay, so what is the next step? So we have completed step 1. Next step is to launch an EC2 instance. This is going to be a T2 Micro Amazon Linux EC2 instance with public IP and port 22 open, right? So let me go to EC2. And I'm going to launch a new instance. This is in North Virginia, that is US East 1. Select T2 Micro free tier. Next, I'm going to launch this in my default VPC. Enable public IP. Next, next. Security group. Remember, we have to keep port 22 open. So I have this particular security group, right, that has both 80 and 22. You don't need 80. You only need 22, but I'm just reusing this particular group, right? So as long as you have a security group that has port 22 open, you are good. Review and launch. Launch. Select my existing key pair. Launch instances. Go right here. And our instance is coming up. So this is our instance right there. This is this public IP address. Okay, so we completed step 2. Now step 3. In this step 3, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and first check the version of AWS CLI. Now, in order to work with Amazon Textract, you need CLI version 2. So if the machine that we provision has a lower version, then we will need to upgrade that using these commands right here, right? So hopefully our machine is up and running. It looks like it is, right? There it is, perfect. And this is my putty right here. So let's just connect to this. Appearance, change. I'm going to increase the font. Authentication. Private key. Open. Yes, EC2 -user. Enter. And there we are. So we are connected to our EC2 instance. So the first command that we are going to run is this command, that is AWF. This is actually hyphen, okay? Sometimes PowerPoint just acts funny, but it's actually AWS hyphen version. So let's execute that command. So I'm going to say AWS hyphen, as you see, version, and let's see what the current version is. So the current version of AWS CLI is 1.18. As I said earlier, we need version 2 and above to run Amazon Textract commands. And why is that, if you may ask, right? So let me clear this. So if I go here and I say Amazon Text, AWS, okay, let me just type Textract help. And if you see over here, you can see analyze document, you can see detect document text, and you see a couple of other document analysis, right? If I keep on hitting enter, and these are all the commands that are available. You do not have analyze expense, you do not have analyze ID, right? So a couple of those APIs for some reason are not there. Maybe it's not supported by this version. So let's not get into that. And it ends pretty much right here. And these are the commands that are available. So if we want analyze expense and analyze ID, remember that we have an invoice as one of the documents. We have passport has one of the documents as well. Those are the two images in our S3 bucket. And we actually don't have APIs for that. So hence for that, we will need to upgrade to version 2. So let's do that. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is, if we have the lower version, then we are going to upgrade using the below commands. The first thing that we will do is we will switch to the root user. So sudo su. So we switch to the root user. We are going to download this particular file, right? So where is this thing? Is right here. I'm going to copy the command. Remember, I shared the reference URLs, right? So if you want to go ahead and copy the command from the reference URL, then do that. But I just want to ensure that I have the right command, right? And I'm going to download the new version. So hit enter. There it is. It's downloaded the new version. After that, we are going to unzip the installation file. So let us do that. So copy this and then paste it right here. So it's unzipping the installation file. So it unzipped it. And now we are going to run the installer. So let me just copy that, right? Copy. I'm going to clear the screen right here. Hit enter. And it's telling me that it has installed it. Now, let me check the AWS version again. So it's telling me now you can run, but it is telling me that I should run this. It's saying /user /local bin /AWS and then the version. What if I just run AWS -- version, just like we did earlier? It is still telling me that it has the old version, right? Why? Because a new version is right here. But if I run /user, right, /user /local /bin /AWS version, then it will tell me that it has version 2.4. That essentially means that the version that we have installed is not set to our path variable. So let's do that. So first, let's see where our profile is. So our profile is set is right here. So as you can see, this is where your bash profile is. Now let us set the path variable. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to set the path variable. Now it's set. And then we are going to reload our profile. So copy this and say, okay, reload profile. So it has reloaded the profile. So now if I clear the screen, and now if we run AWS version straightforward, it now tells us that the current version is 2.4. That means it is now pointing to the latest AWS version AWS CLI version that we just installed, right? So we are good. So we just completed step number 3. Step 4. Now we need to configure our AWS CLI user. And for that, we are going to use the command AWS configure. So I'm going to clear the screen, say AWS configure. It needs a secret access key ID. So remember, we copied the access key ID right here. So go back, put the access key ID, hit enter. So the secret access key, copy the secret access key. The region for, in my case, is going to be US East 1. And the output format is going to be JSON. So I'm going to say JSON, right? So we are good. Clear the screen. And we have basically completed step 4. Step 5. Now we need to run our Amazon Textract commands, right? So remember, we have those 3 image files. One is a passport image, one is a greetings, Thanksgiving greetings, and the third one is an invoice. So basically, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to try and detect document text, right? So this is the command for it, right? So again, let me copy it. So this is the command, right? It's pretty straightforward. And I'm going to copy and paste the command right here. So this is your command, right? So detect document text. And what I have done is I have basically replaced bucket name and file name as the 2 parameters, just kept the command ready and handy for this lab. But in your case, just simply, replace the bucket name and the file name and you should be good. So this is the command and I'm going to copy this and paste it right here. And now you can see the information coming out. There's going to be a significant amount of information that will come your way, right? So remember, this is a Thanksgiving greeting. And if you don't remember, this is the file that we are processing, right? So it's saying happy Thanksgiving, sending a note your way. So it has multiple lines, several words, and it's saying block type is page. So it is page. Again, if you keep on scrolling down, and sorry for the scroll, it will say that it has multiple lines over here, right? So the different relation, there are different lines in this particular page, and basically it considers it to be its children. So the first line is happy, the confidence level is 98, and it's telling you where detected on the page is parameters, x and y coordinates, right? And the relationship to the parent, that is, it's a child of the parent. Similarly, this is line number 2, which is Thanksgiving. And again, you have rest of the other coordinates, right? This is line number 3. Confidence is 99% right there, sending a note your way. And similarly, you will basically see each and every line that it is analyzing. So I'm not going to scroll through, but when you're doing this on your own, just keep on, scrolling further down. You can just continuously press the down arrow key. And as you see, it will just keep on scrolling. I'm going to pause this, but essentially this is what it is telling you. So if you call this API, this is the output that it is going to return back to you in a JSON format. So I'm going to hit Control Z and come out of this and clear the screen. So we basically worked with detect document text. Now let us analyze an expense. Remember, we have an invoice image. So I'm going to copy this particular command, right? I'm going to paste it right here. So this is your command, right? So analyze expense, it's a document. You have to give the bucket name and the file name. Again, I have the command ready here. So this is my bucket name. This is my file name. Let's work with this particular invoice first and see if it works or not. And the invoice is right here, right? So it's basically saying it has some information, it has some text, it has some total, right? And it has, I think it has San Francisco and some number, etc. So let's first work with this, and maybe we can even work with the other invoice image as well. So let me go back, copy, let me clear the screen again, copy the wrong command. So this is the command. Let me paste it right here. And again, it is telling us everything. So the first thing is coming back with is a text rate. Again, you can keep on scrolling. It's saying 7%, right? And then it's saying there's total, right? And the value of total, where is the value? Maybe I missed it. I missed the value. Should have been, okay. Maybe it's down further. Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I don't know where the value of total is. Maybe I missed it somewhere while I was trying to figure out. But in any case, again, it will basically just give you the similar kind of information, right? And just tell you what it is finding in that particular invoice, whether it's total, is the name of the company, the individual items that are there on the invoice. Like as you can see, it's saying the contact name and the phone number, right? So when you are doing this with CLI, because it gives you so much information, sometimes it becomes very tough to kind of detect this. So, I mean, I'm just doing this for lab purposes, but if you really want to do this, maybe, just try and get a JSON dump on your end and probably use Notepad or something and just try to scroll through that. But it is going to still be a significant amount of information that will come your way, right? So let me just end this here. And in fact, let's try the other invoice image that I have as well. I think it's called as invoice. What is it called as? Invoice.png. Let's see if that one works. So invoice.png, right? So I'm going to copy this. And what do we have over here for invoice.png? So let me just open it. So again, we have a company name East Repair. There is some bill to information. There is some description. There is some total of 154 signed by someone. There's a date, etc. So there's a certain amount of information. There's some sales tax of 6.25%, right? And it has a address over here for New York City, right there. Okay. So let's see if it can process and analyze this particular image. So there it is. So it's giving us a vendor name. It's called as, it's saying instead of East, it is analyzing it as CAS. So that's an error right there, right? So confidence level is, although it is 98%, but it's a little off. And I think it's because the way East is written, but it got the rest of the other things correctly. So one letter, okay, I'll say okay, it's just 98%, but it did get the remainder right correctly. So that's good. And so that's the name that it got. And after that is saying what next is PO box number. So let it find PO box number. Oh, there it is, PO box number right here. If you can see this where my mouse is 2312. So something, yeah, there it is, 2312, right? And then after that it is saying bill 2, and that should be to John Smith, right? It is saying whatever to Square, Code Square, New York, whatever. So it's having this entire, the slash n is a separate line. It has the entire address. If you see, it's right here. This is the entire address, right? And got that correctly. Please make the checks payable to this one right here. This is this line right at the bottom, right? This one right here. That's what, so it's the bottom line. And by the way, the funny part is, so over here, right? Let me see if I can grab my marker. Over here, it's saying please make checks payable to East Repair Inc. And now if I go back, this time around, it actually got the name correctly, right? So that's really very good. Anyway, so let's just clear this and then continue. So I hope that you are getting what it is trying to do over here, right? So now this is total, and what is our total over here? 154.06, right? And there it is, 154.06. And these are just sample images that I downloaded from the web, right? I mean, you can pretty much also download something from the web and use it, right? It does not need a specific template or anything. It just pretty much works with most of the images. But hopefully this is giving you an idea as to what to expect, right? Of course, if I scroll further down, it will also have this little table that you are seeing with quantity description and everything else. So that will also be somewhere at the bottom. I just don't want to scroll all the way down, but eventually you will be able to see that as well somewhere at the bottom, right? So it actually has all the information. Anyway, so I'm going to end it here. So Control Z, I'm going to clear the screen, right? And that was good. Okay, so we basically detected uh, text. We analyze an expense, right? Now let us analyze a document. Now these two are going to be very similar, right? But it's not much of a difference. It just has some minor differences of where it's on the page and where it's on the document, etc. But let us still try and run this particular command. So this is the command right here. So I'm going to copy this command. I'm going to paste it over here. So this is your command, right? And I have built the command already. I'm going to use the same Thanksgiving image, right, that you are aware of, right? So this image is pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. Let's run it. And again, you will see that it has similar information. I'm not going to scroll through this, guys. It has pretty much the same information. Feel free to analyze it now. I have already done it twice in front of you, right, as to what to go and look for and expect. Just get the whole JSON, and maybe you can use a JSON editor and go through the entire text. So I'm going to end it right there, right? Okay, and clear the screen. Okay, and what do we have next? Next one is analyze ID. Remember, we have a passport image. So let's copy the command. So this is the command, right? This is my command. And I'm going to paste it right there. So this is your command. Again, pretty straightforward. And I've built the command. This is with a specific passport image. So copy this particular command, right? And paste it right here. So this is our passport image. Now let me quickly open it again so you can see it. So this is a sample US passport image. So if you see, the traveler's surname is, the surname is Traveler. The first name or the given name is Happy, right? And the date of birth is 1st Jan 1980. And there's additional information as well. So if you see, the first name is Happy, so it got that. Last name or surname is Traveler, right? Again, there's no middle name. What else did it detect? It detected city, address. I don't think it has any. Oh, it has what? Washington. This is a state. It does not have a specific city, it looks like. Okay. Washington, D.C. Let's see if it has zip code. No, it does not have zip code. So no, there's no zip code. State name. Did it detect that state name? No, it did not actually. So that's not good. Okay. We should have detected Washington, D.C. Maybe it's because of territory. Okay. Expiration date right here is 5th of May 2019. Yeah. Date is 5th of May 2019 right there. And then what else does it detect? It detects the date of birth, which is 1st Jan 1980, which is true. Date of issue is 6th of May. 6th of May did not get the year, surprisingly. See, so it has only the date and the month. And the ID type it detected is passport. It does not say it has any restrictions or class, address, county. It says place of birth. That's good. So place of birth. Is that the place of birth? It is. So it detected Washington, D.C. It's not from which state it was issued from. It's from the place of birth. So place of birth is Washington, D.C., which is good. And that's pretty much it. So it kind of got most of the information, right, correctly. So that's pretty much it. And it ends there. So that is good. Going to end it, right, and clear the screen. So we basically completed all of these commands in step 5. And thereby, we basically detected text, we analyzed a document, we analyzed a passport or an ID, and we also analyzed a expense receipt or an invoice. So we have basically met the objective of this hands-on lab using AWS Textract and AWS CLI. So I hope that this particular lab was helpful to you. To practice these commands on your own, right? They're very simple. They're not very complicated. You can easily type them and do post your feedback. And I will see you shortly in some other video. Take care. Bye-bye.